Hello. I am new to the Digimon trading card game, and I would love to learn how to play. Would you be able to teach me, please?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to help you learn how to play the Digimon trading card game, TCG. The game can be quite engaging and fun once you get the hang of it. Here's a basic overview of how to play.
Thank you. That was a really good breakdown.
You're welcome. I'm glad you found the breakdown helpful. If you have any more questions about the Digimon trading card game, whether it's about specific card interaction strategies, deck building, or anything else, feel free to ask. Enjoy your journey into the world of Digimon and have a great time playing.
Actually, really interested. So how have you done? So game setup, I love to play. Game is quite engaging and fun. It really is. It honestly really is. So here's a basic overview of how to play. Yep, 50 cards, tamers and option cards. Additionally, players need a separate deck of 5 digi. Yep, that's true. Starting hand. Play area where you play your Digimon. Breeding area where you raise your Digimon from the Digi cards. Discard cards. Go security stack. Each player starts with 5 cards on their deck. Face down and security area. These are like your life points. Yep. Memory gauge. This is a unique feature of the Digimon TCG. That is true. Determine, if the gauge moves in your opponent's zone, your turn ends. That is correct. You can evolve your Digimon into more powerful forms by stacking them on top of each other. This often costs memory, but allows you to draw cards. Yeah, pointed that out. Very good. Playing the game turn structure, players alternate turns. On your turn, you can hatch Digio, play Digimon, evolve them, play tamers, and use option cards. You can take opponent's Digimon directly or attack their security when attacking security evil. Yep, though you can only attack a Digimon if they're suspended, so it doesn't tell you about that. Winning the game ends when one player either runs out of cards in their security attack and then takes another hit, or is unable to draw a card from the deck. That is true. This is also true. Start with the starter deck. Learn their types and synergies and practice. Absolutely. Very, very true. Thank you, ChatGPT. It is. The most important fun is to have fun and enjoy the game. Thank you, ChatGPT. You are correct. Okay. I would like more clarification on how a typical turn may go. Say I am the first to start. What happens?
Certainly, let's go through a typical turn in the Digimon trading card game, especially focusing on what happens when you're the first player. The flow of a turn in this game is unequal due to the memory guard system.
Key.
Understanding this will be key to playing effectively.
Starting the game when the game begins, the first player starts with 0 memory. This means your actions will quickly pass the turn to your opponent, so you'll need to be strategic about what you play.
Pretty good this is not that bad. Right, when the game begins, the first player starts with 0 memory. Yep. This means your actions will quickly pass the turn to your opponent, so you need to be strategic about your play. Absolutely. And suspense phase. At the beginning of your turn, untap all of your suspended tap cards. This step is skipped on the first player's turn since there are no cards to unsuspend. That is correct. Draw phase. So you draw a card from your deck. Again, this step is skipped on the first player's turn, which is true. Breeding phase, you have 2 options here. So you have your unsuspend phase, which doesn't happen on the first turn. You draw a phase, which doesn't happen on the very first turn, but this does happen all subsequent turns. So you can hatch a Digi-Egg, which you should have in your breeding area if it's the very first turn. And then you can Digivolve on that Digi-Egg stack. You cannot move it if it's the very first turn. But if you have a Digimon breeding area that was hatched in a previous turn, you can move it to the battle area. That is correct. Main phase. This is where most of your actions will take place. That is true. You can play Digimon cards. You can play Digimon card for your hand to the battle area. This costs memory. And if your memory gauge goes into the opponent's side, your turn ends. You can Digivolve Digimon. You can evolve your Digimon into higher levels. This costs memory, but usually less than playing a Digimon outright, which is true. When you Digivolve, you draw 1 card. Play tamer cards. Tamers provide ongoing effects and support. Play option cards. These are special action effects that can turn the tide of the game. Though this doesn't mention you can only play option cards if you have a colour in your play area or on your board. So if I want to play a yellow option card, I have to have a yellow card, like a Digimon, on the board for me to be able to play it. I can't just play the card by itself. So that doesn't mention that, but that is important. You can attack your opponent's Digimon or their security. However, remember that on your very first turn, you cannot attack. That is true, but also, again, you normally can only attack an opponent's Digimon if it's suspended, but certain Digimon have certain effects that can kind of override that general rule. Use effects, activate any effects from your cards that are applicable. Yeah. Also, this doesn't talk about inheritables as well. From Digimon. So when you Digivolve, there's like inherited effects that can happen. So I'm going to ask it about that and see if it knows. End phase, your turn ends here. So key points for the first player's first turn. Okay, limited actions. Since you start with 0 memory, any action that costs memory will likely end your turn quickly. Yep. You cannot attack. Nope. Most common strategy is to hatch a Digi-Egg or play low-cost Digimon or Tamer to start future plans. Absolutely. So, here we go. Example first turn. Skip draw phase. Yep. Hatch Digi-Egg, play a Tamer or a low-cost Digimon card. Or Digivolve into your breeding area. It's not really talking about that, which is interesting. Remember, your first turn is about setting up for future plays. Absolutely. It is a good idea to get a feel for different strategies, yep, and see what works best for you, yep. Each turn in the Digimon TCG is about balancing your immediate actions with preparing what your opponent might do in their future turn. Okay, thank you. I would like some help in understanding Digivolving. Can you please expand on this mechanic? All right.
Absolutely. Digivolving is a central mechanic in the Digimon trading card game, and understanding is key to mastering the game. Here's a detailed explanation.
Not bad. It's kind of, it's gotten it. I think it's gotten it all. Basic concept of Digivolving. Hold on. Let me update my tea to be able to... Oh, God. Actually, no. Milk first, because this is pre-brewed. So I can... About that much milk. I don't like much milk in my tea. Oh. The Digivolving process. Place a Digimon card on top of a Digimon that is one level lower than it. Okay, yeah. You place a Digimon card on top of a Digimon card. That's a little bit weird to word, but... For example, level 4 Digimon can be Digivolved from a level 3 Digimon. Yeah. Each Digimon card has a Digivolution cost in its top left corner. This is the amount of memory you need to pay to Digivolve into that Digimon. Drawing a card, when you Digivolve, draw one card from your deck. So you choose a Digimon to Digivolve into. The Digimon you want to evolve into must be exactly one level higher. Yep, you've said that. Pay the Digivolution cost. Yep. Don't forget the memory gauge. Things cost memory. You go over to the opponent's side. Turn ends. Place the new Digimon on top. So the new Digimon card is placed on top of the old one, inheriting all the abilities of the Digimon underneath it. And then you draw a card. The key points about Digivolving: inheritance. So this is one of the things why you want to build up stacks. The evolved Digimon retains any abilities of the Digimon underneath it. Or yes, it has to be in the inheritance tab at the bottom of the card though. It's not like if a Digimon has Raid, for example, in its main text. When you Digivolve on top, it loses that ability of Raid unless it says in its own main text or it's an inherited effect, which is at the bottom of the card. Not quite right, but I get the vibe. Color level and restrictions. You can only Digivolve into a Digimon of the same color unless specified otherwise. So some Digimon will Digivolve from an Agumon at level 4 2 cost. So if it's a red Greymon, you can Digivolve on top of a black Agumon because it's an Agumon. And the new Digimon must be exactly one level higher unless you're X antibody. So X antibody overwrites that, so you can Digivolve on a 4 because it says in its main text that you can do that. So again, cards that have specific effects or special exemptions will always say in their main text, and they can ignore the standard rules. You can use the breeding area, which you should do because it's the safest area in the game. You can't be attacked. I'm going to ask it more about that. And cost efficiency, obviously more memory, got to be careful. I mean, this is kind of obvious. You just need to make sure that you're evolving in the right strategic manner. Thank you so much for that. You are really helping me understand the Digimon TCG game. But could you please expand upon the breeding area? I am not quite sure what happens there. Full stop.
Of course, the breeding area, also known as the raising area in some versions of the game, is a unique feature of the Digimon trading card game, and understanding its mechanics can significantly impact your gameplay strategy. Here's a detailed explanation.
So the breeding area is where you hatch and raise your Digimon before bringing them into the main battle area. So while in the breeding area, Digimon are generally protected from your opponent's attacks and card effects. They basically are. They're completely immune to anything in there. There's mechanics where when you move a Digimon up, things can happen. But while in the breeding area, your Digimon are safe. So hatching Digimon eggs, you at the start of your turn during the breeding phase, if your breeding area is empty, you hatch. And then it becomes a level 2 Digimon. And also just to note, you can't move level 2. Digimon 2, level 2 Digimon don't exist in the play area at all, ever. So you can't digivolve down into a level 2 Digimon. You can't. They only exist in the breeding area. So they have to stay there. So you have to digivolve over the top of them to be able to move them out. And if something says, oh, de-digivolve, it will only digivolve until before it hits the level 2, because they can't exist in the play area. They only exist in the breeding area. You can digivolve the Digimon in your breeding area following normal Digivolution rules. Yep, is often a safe way to build a powerful Digimon without exposing it to immediate threats. Exactly. So a very common strategy in the Digimon card game, as we know. For example, I love playing Red or Greymon. You build up your stack in the back. Jesmon is another... Oh, actually, does Jesmon do that? I think it kind of does. You build up your stack in the back, build it up high, go in for like a load of swings, and it's a safe way to get a powerful Digimon without being removed. Subsequent turns, you can move a Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area during your breeding phase. Yes, so this movement doesn't cost any memory and is often how you introduce your developed Digimon into the battlefield. Once moved, the Digimon can attack and inherit like any other Digimon in the battle area. So if you hatch on your turn, because you didn't have an egg in your breeding area, you then digivolve it up. You can't move it that same turn. Mimi, the tamer, allows you to do that. If you suspend her, you can move it up. But she might be the only card that allows you to do that. I think otherwise that is staying there. Analog Youth allows you to hatch in that area, but it doesn't allow you to move up. So it's staying there. It's not moving. Your next turn, it can come up. Timing. So obviously deciding when to move it out is crucial. Allows you to save up. And then your Digi-Egg choices are very important. Again, follow the same rules of color. So your Digimon level 2 has to be a green. If you've got a green Palmon, you can only digivolve that over level green, like another level 2 level green. Same shit as all the other rules. Beginning of your turn, you hatch a Coromon level 2 from your Digi-Egg deck in the breeding area. Second turn, you digivolve Coromon into a Greymon. No, that's a level 4, but okay. Into a level 3 Digimon while still in the breeding area. On a later turn, you decide to move Greymon into your battle area, ready to participate in battles and use its abilities. No, into an Agumon level 3. The breeding area is essentially a staging ground for your Digimon. Prepare safely allows you to safely prepare. You can, how you use this area can significantly influence the flow of the game, especially of turns, of how when you introduce a powerful Digimon in play. Also, you can draw a card when you Digivolve in that breeding area. So you're constantly making a decision of, do I move my Digimon up so I can use it to attack? And then I can build then another stack in the back and use it to get draw cards when Digivolve and topping it, or do I keep it in the back safe? It depends on your deck, it depends on your strategy. Do you want lots of bodies out on board, or do you want your one big, powerful, swingy Digimon? So, okay, so I know about the player, I know the different mechanics, I understand how to Digivolve, I understand the breeding area. What about attacking? And how do I really win? It talked about security cards. What are security cards, ChatGPT? Hey, cheers for that. You are being so lovely in helping me. I would love to learn more about attacking and winning the game. Could you expand on that?
Thank you for your kind words, and I'm delighted to help you further understand the Digimon trading card game. Let's dive into the mechanics of attacking and winning the game.
Thank you, ChatGPT. Right, so, good lord, another wall of text. Thank you for your kind words. You are welcome. And I'm delighted to help you further understand the Digimon trading card game, right? Can attack during your main phase, yep. You cannot attack on the very first time of the game, yep. You have two main options for attacking. Attacking an opponent's Digimon. Your Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon in the battle area. No, they have to be suspended for you to be able to attack them. That is incorrect, Chatty. Also, it's not mentioned summoning sickness as well. That is quite an important mechanic for the Digimon trading card game. If you have just played a Digimon that turn, so say I do like a 2-drop rookie, I can't attack that same turn unless it has rush. Attacking your opponent's security, yep, you can attack your opponent directly, targeting their security stack, absolutely, unless they have a blocker. So executing an attack. Declare an attack, suspend tap your attacking Digimon. If attacking an opponent's Digimon, compare the DP, Digimon power of the two. The one with the lower DP is destroyed and sent to the trash area. If they are equal, both are destroyed. If attacking security, reveal the top card of your opponent's security stack. If it's a Digimon, you compare the DP. If attacking Digimon survives, the security card is discarded. If it's an option card or a tamer card, resolve its effect if applicable and then discard it. So that's important. So security is very, very important for the Digimon trading card game. You can swing into the security and your Digimon that's going to have 4 security checks can get absolutely destroyed on the first check because of an option card or a high Digimon with a high DP. So when to attack security is also important, because if you swing early in the game with just like a single check, just because, and you give, and a tamer pops out, that opponent then can put that tamer in their play area, and now they've suddenly got support from their tamer. So just knowing when to attack security is very important to not accidentally give your opponent an advantage. Security text, each attack on the opponent's security involves a security check. Your Digimon must survive the security check to continue the attack. If the security check reveals a Digimon with a higher DP or an option card that destroys your attacking Digimon, your Digimon is destroyed. So some Digimon and option cards have effects that can be activated during attack, potentially altering the outcome. Absolutely. So always check your attack. Also the timing of attacks. So the attacking player always resolves their effects first. So if you have, so say someone is attacking me and I've got a blocker or I've got like an ace card that when they attack I can activate. However, on their side, they've got when attacking, Digimon with 5,000 DP or less is destroyed. My blocker, say, is 5,000, which therefore I wouldn't be able to declare the block feature because their effects resolve first before mine. If that didn't happen, I'd be able to declare a block or be able to ace Digivolve, and then my effects would pop up. But yeah, all the player attacking their effects resolve first, which is very important on timing and counter measures on the defending opponent's side, etc. So winning the game, you have to get rid of all the security stack and then land another successful hit. And then decking out as well. Obviously, strategic considerations. This is nice that it's doing this. Risk versus reward. Obviously, attacking has risks. You've got to balance yourself, timing and strategy, and pay attention to the synergies between your Digimon abilities. Also, your opponent's Digimon, because sometimes it's like they're like, oh, if an opponent attacks, this happens, is sneaky and not that obvious, and it'll be in your opponent's like inheritables. So just like be careful when you're attacking and just be aware of what your opponent has on their board. Otherwise you can attack and forget what they have, and they can ruin your day and just like completely get rid of a Digimon and all this stuff, and it's very frustrating. So here's an example of an attack turn. You have a Greymon and a Garurumon on the field. You decide to attack with Greymon. You suspend Greymon and choose to attack your opponent's security. Perform a security check, revealing security Digimon 3000 DP. Greymon wins the battle and the security is discarded. Then you attack with Garurumon, targeting a suspended opponent's Digimon with, okay, so it knows about suspended this time. Got a little bit wrong up there, but it knows here. Targeting a suspended opponent's Digimon 3000 DP, defeating it. Remember, attacking is a critical part of your strategy. You need to understand that. Cool, okay, thank you again. However, I know there are lots of different Digimon, I guess, effects. Things like raid. That's not how you spell that. Raid, all that. Raid, rush, blitz. Can you name them all and give a summary?
Absolutely. Understanding the various abilities and keywords in the Digimon trading card game is crucial, as they significantly influence gameplay and strategy. Here's a list of some common abilities and keywords along with their summaries.
There might be some new ones that it's missing ace. It hasn't got ace in here. Okay. So for a list of all the things that you should be aware of, luckily, if you're new to the game, which I'm pretending to be, the effects of these keywords will say in the card itself. So for example, jamming, it will say it has jamming. It can't be deleted in Digimon battles in the security. It will say that. So you don't have to remember all of these. I'm going to ask if it knows. Hello. What about the ace mechanic? Do you know anything about that? Oh, so it only knows, actually it doesn't know. It only knows of April 2023. That's interesting. One last thing. That's great. Oh God, I can't spell. That's great. Thank you. Now, I want to play. It's going to be from April. So it's not going to be the latest. I mean, it's like 6 months over behind. But we'll see what happens. Could you please help me with building a deck?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you with building a deck for the Digimon trading card game. Building a deck is an exciting process and allows you to express your personal playstyle. Here are some general steps and tips to get you started.
Another thing to note that it hasn't really expanded upon are the different Digimon TCG colours. So it said you can't Digivolve on top of a card unless it's the same colour. Colours are important. Each colour has its own way of playing and keywords that kind of stay within that colour. It's not a hard, fast rule, but it's general. When you're building a deck, whatever you want, obviously think about whether you want to be aggressive, whether you want to do control, or you want to kind of just like have a balanced, a bit of both, really. Obviously, you select your main Digimon. So you can select a main Digimon and have a Digimon line. You don't have to, but it's normally good. Like you'll have your big boy boss monster, and the rest of your deck will be supporting that playstyle of that big boss monster. You should always have your Digi-Eggs. You add your supporting Digimon. Tamers and option cards are very, very important. Either counter main meta decks that are around and just being aware of what's happening in the meta, or again to support your big boss monster. Obviously test and refine, that's very, very important. And then there you go. This is good. This is a good breakdown. And don't forget there's also memory boosts, which are very important, and your training cards and all of that stuff. I would love to see an example deck. And you know what, aggressive deck. Could you provide one for me, please? Love to see what it would come up with.
Certainly. Building an aggressive deck in the Digimon trading card game focuses on quick and powerful attacks. aiming to reduce the opponent's security as fast as possible. Use an example of an aggressive deck, keeping in mind that specific card choices might vary based on the card sets available to you and your personal preference.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Monzaemon. That's not... Omnimon isn't Omega, my friend. Okay, yeah. Don't go to ChatGPT if you're asking for deck building advice on the decks themselves, because this is not very good. This is interesting. I kind of really want to take this, though, to a locals and see what happens, but all what would happen would lose. Also, that's level 7, my friend, and not a mega level. Why not more Agumons? You can have many more Agumons than just 4. Biomon, Gilmon, and Monodramon, useful for clearing blockers. Can clear multiple opponents' Digimon in certain scenarios. I'd love to know what those certain scenarios are, ChatGPT. 4 times tie, yep, sure, makes sense. Gaia Force, yep, standard. Shadow Wing, interesting. Thank you. Could you please give me a deck with the names and numbers that I could use at a locals?
Certainly. Here's a more specific example of an aggressive deck for the Dion trading card game.
BT1, BT1, BT3. Any later cards? Any later cards? Groundramon, why? Okay, yeah, don't use this to create a deck. This is not a good deck. This is not a good deck. You play this deck, you're just going to lose. Get practice with this deck and get it to know its in and outs. Okay, ChatGPT. Well, thank you for teaching me the Digimon card game. Well, thank you so much for teaching me the Digimon card game. I will take this knowledge to my locals and win. Every game is a learning opportunity, so don't hesitate to experiment with different strategies and adjustments to your deck as you gain more experience. Winning is great, but the most important part is to enjoy the game and have fun with the community at your locals. Best of luck in your matches, and may your Digimon lead you to many victories. If you ever have more questions or need further advice, feel free to reach out. Oh, and it's giving me little emojis. So cute.